Today we are talking about Lisa Bonet. And the reason why we are even talking about Miss Lisa Bonet is because I've always been interested in her. I have always thought she was really pretty when I first seen her on the Cosby Show. And I've always like really been interested in her. Like I liked her eccentric style and how she seemed to be in real life. We don't really know too much about her. She seems to stay pretty private. I guess the only thing we really know about her is her marriages. We know she was married to Lenny Kravitz. She has her daughter. We know that she got married to that other man. Um, what is his name? Jason Momoa, if I'm saying that correctly. We know they married him. She married him and she has some children. But besides that, we don't really know a whole lot about Lisa Bonet, and I think that's definitely where my research came in. And I always been like, who is her mom and her dad? Because they say that her mom is white and her dad was black, but we never really seen pictures of them. Then come to find out she got some half siblings. Like, what? She got some half siblings? And so, yeah, when I started doing this research, I actually found out some interesting things. Like, did you know that her father was an opera singer? Did you know that? I mean, got a nice opera voice too, and most of his music is in German. His opera music, yes, and you can actually find it here on or over here on YouTube if you wanted to listen to his music. But we'll get into that later. And that he has other children, that she got other siblings that like is into music and some acting and stuff like that. We'll talk about that, show that later. And did you know that her name really should be Lisa Bonet? Bonet? Boney? I don't know how it's pronounced. But doing my research, I said, wait a minute. Where's this Bonet coming from? This Bonet? Because I'm actually seeing something a little bit different. Because her name is Lisa Michelle Bonet, born November 16th, 1967. So at this time, she was 20 years old when this article came out. And she was born in San Francisco, California. It says a tricky woman who continues to search for her identity. The search is complicated by a number of factors, one of which is the general perception that Lisa Bonet and Denise Huxtable are one and the same. While the Cosby Show creators did indeed pattern Denise after Lisa, there are distinct differences between the flighty average teen character and the real young woman. Unlike Denise, who has a large and loving upper middle class Black New York family with both parents, Lisa was reared in a single parent California home by her mother, Arlene Bonet, a Jewish school teacher. She has not seen her father, who is Black, since she was a baby. Lisa has publicly commented on how she was raised in a little white neighborhood on the wrong side of the tracks. And while Denise Huxtable is a freshman at a Black college, Lisa Bonet is much too busy right now for such mundane activities, though she hopes to one day study astrology at UCLA. Angel Heart, and Angel Heart is the movie that she had did where, it looked like she was possessed and it had some blood in it, and this Mickey Rourke was in it. That's the movie that she had to go to, that she was like, did some nudity parts in it, and she had to go to Bill Cosby and be like, what do you think? I want to do this role. And then Bill was like, girl, do your thing. To enjoying immense popularity due to the Cosby Show, both actresses are vegetarians, share a common bond of spirituality, and believe in the powers of daily meditation. Miss Rashad even introduced Lisa to her guru at an ashram, whatever, in upstate New York. And more recently, Lisa traveled to India, where she visited an ashrami, whatever. Said Bill Cosby is not into gurus, but he says about his talented TV daughter, the most important thing is that she has talent. He says the next important thing is that she works more often than most kids with her potential. The next most important thing is that she is studying. So Lisa should be, within the next 2 years, a Black American woman loaded with creative talent and ready to go. Sought out after by the media, she can be difficult, even nasty, as several journalists have learned. Really? Anyway, Lisa said, this was in 1987 when she was 20 years old. Now, when did she get on the Cosby Show? She got on the Cosby Show in 80. No, that was a different world. She got on the Cosby Show in 1984. So just 3 years early. So she was 17 when she got on the Cosby Show, but she did that from 84 to 92. Okay. Now this, she said, look, I'm flabbergasted by all the attention being devoted to her beauty. For when she was a youngster, she considered herself hideous and did not have a single date throughout high school. We was like, really, bitch? Really? Who knew? Who knew? And then she also admits that she did indeed suffer an identity crisis because she is the offspring of an interracial marriage. I have absolutely no idea where I belong in life. I mean, position and in school. I don't know. Growing up is so hard. I don't know. Growing up is so hard. It was really weird, she continues, because like, the black kids will call me Oreo. And I just didn't feel totally at home and accepted with all those, white rich people. Complicating the problem, okay, was the fact that she felt abandoned by her father. I put famous in, by her father, whom she has not seen since she was a toddler, a toddler, you know what I mean? She says her father, who is Black and Cherokee Indian, has tried to contact her in recent years, but she's not sure she wants to see him, okay? As an adolescent, Lisa stopped going to her Jewish synagogue with her mother because she couldn't stand people staring at her, and she felt she didn't quite fit in at the public school she attended as a gifted, I said, get out of here, girl, as a gifted student, because most of the kids were from wealthy families. One of the few places Lisa felt comfortable was in acting classes. After doing a few commercials and an episode of Sing Elsewhere, she auditioned for the Cosby Show. Marcy Carsey, I heard that name before too. I know she did some other stuff too. A producer for that show In a Different World says she remembers Lisa braces and her lovely off-center taste in clothing, and how she looked very much like the kid they had envisioned as the second eldest daughter for the show. I remember thinking, says Miss Carsey, this is a kid who will not be anything but herself. Father Cosby says that the most damaging thing that will happen to Lisa will be if Caucasian American producers don't use her as a Black American female. Here. And this is called Lisa Bonet Wild Child. This was coming from the Washington Post, dated for March 11th, 1987. It said, like most 16-year-old girls, Lisa Bonet was mad at her mother. And we're trying to tell you what had happened. She was mad at her mom. Matter of fact, where's her mom at? Let's bring Lisa mom up here. Lisa was mad at her mama. She was not happy about what her mama had. What had happened? What happened? Like most 16-year-old girls, Lisa Bonet was mad at her mother, yet while other rebels fumed as they tested the limits of their mother credit cards, Bonet fumed as she sat in a cramped audition room. The Cosby Show producers' top 3 choices for each of the 4 Huxtable children were waiting for the big decision. One by one, the 12 young actors met with the directors and the producers, then with the writers, then with Bill Cosby, and finally with the network people. Then they waited some more. She'll never get it, purred one aspiring Denise Huxtable, pointing to Bonet, because she has braces. My braces hadn't even crossed my mind, Bonet recalls, shaking her head. And when she said that, I was like, I should just go home now. But she didn't. After all, there was that tiff with mom. And when director Jay Sandrich, I guess so, they just moved the W and put an R. Sandrich finally gave her the good news. The days Bonet followed the other new cast members down a long, long hall to meet with Cosby. I just remember Bill looking at me and saying, I love your braces. But the sweetest moment came when she rushed to a phone to call mom with the news. I was like, Mom. She was like, what? Like, well, I just called to tell you that I got the Cosby Show. Bye. I was awful. 3 years later, she can't remember what she had been fuming about as she sprints to her neighborhood dinner in Greenwood Village. Bonet appears remarkably level-headed, wearing an olive green jumpsuit. This is what she had on, and she emerges and the blase. She emerges last of the tape. Then she leans back and considers the wave of publicity that began with her debut on the Cosby Show, rose with the announcement of her very own spinoff scheduled to premiere in the fall. Because remember, this article is coming from 1987, and she started A Different World in 1987 to 1993. So they're talking about she's about to do this right now. The announcement of a very own spinoff scheduled to premiere in the fall, it hadn't even came out yet, and reach a crescendo with the initial X rating given her first film, Angel Heart. You know, the Angel Heart with the blood, and she was possessed, she was nude and stuff. Well, actually, it's so funny that all this controversy is made over this 30-second scene that has now had 10-second cuts, she said. You know, people are going to see it and they're going to go, what is the big deal here? And then she gets off into the movie. I don't want to get off into that because I feel like there are a lot of videos that talk about this movie. There are a lot of videos on what information that you do usually find on Lisa Bonet is going to talk about her relationship with Bill Cosby, this movie that she did, what happened with her and Bill, the reason why, you know, with the show and all of that type of stuff. You're going to talk about that. You're going to hear a lot about her and Lenny Kravitz, her relationships, her marriages, period, her one with Jason, okay, her marriage to him. But how often do we like hear stuff about her family, the mama and the daddy and the siblings? As for Bonet, the suggestion that men might find her attractive leaves her she's just confused. She's just baffled because I don't even know what this word is. I'm not even gonna try. Okay, that's really funny. She insists. It's wild. It's ridiculous. I didn't have a date in high school. No one asked me to the prom, and it's so funny to think that men find me appealing at all. In fact, her high school years appear to have had all the elements of a John Hughes film. Her parents were divorced when she was 13 months old, and she hasn't seen her father since. She was raised in Los Angeles by her Jewish mother, Arlene Bonet, a teacher. I already told you that, in a little white neighborhood on the wrong side of the tracks. She quit going to the temple because she just couldn't stand people staring at her and didn't have much more luck fitting in the wealthy public school she attended under a program for the highly gifted. First, there was the stigma of being labeled gifted. Then there was the problem of not being either black or white. I don't know. It was really weird, Bonet says with a sigh, because, like, you know, the black kids would call me Oreo, and I just didn't feel totally at home and accepted with all of these, you know, which white rich people. I had just a whole identity crisis because I had absolutely no idea where I belonged in life. I mean, in position and in school, I don't know, growing up is so hard. Suddenly she looks even tinier than her 5 feet 2 inches. I was an only kid too. So I really had no one to identify with. And I used to like beg my mom every day to have a kid, another one, but my parents were divorced. Bonet drifted into acting. She drifted into acting not because of any desires to become a star, but simply because acting school was one of the few places where she felt comfortable. Actually, someone sent me to an acting class because I was bored with my life. So a friend knew someone that was giving classes, and he said, why don't you come? So I went, and the people were just so much fun that I went back. I had absolutely, really no interest in being an actor because I was very shy. Bonet was wise enough to ask her mother to move to New York with her for the first year of the Cosby Show. We didn't even know that. Did you know that? Well, you done learned today. The personal and professional adjustments were monumental. But director Sandrich, you know, Sandrich dropped the W, put the R, come on now, has nothing but praise for Bonet's resilience. It was very difficult. Very difficult. Number one, moving to New York, he says, and taking all of the pressures that this child has been getting, being called one of the most beautiful women in America. Look at that vision. I don't think Lisa's ever really thought of herself in those terms. She still doesn't. This whole business is so weird, she says. The fact that I'm like actually making money, being who I am, when I'm so miserable, being who I was, 3 years prior to all of this, is so wild. Even the creation of the spinoff chronicling whatever Denise Huxtable's antics at college hasn't shaken Bonet's grip on reality. At the end of the last season, she says, clearing her throat. Where am I thinking? Clearing her throat. They just kind of said, Lisa, will you come in here? And I was like going over everything I'd done. What did I do? And they said, well, we like to give you your own show. Did she squeal? Did she run out and buy a Porsche? Did she know it would happen all along? In a voice as childlike as little Cosby co-star Keisha Knight Pulliam, Rudy. Bonet recounts her initial response. I was like, if it doesn't work, can I come back to the show? And they said yes. So when the Cosby Show wraps up shooting this season episode in April, Bonet will pack up and move to Los Angeles to begin work on It's a Different World. The NBC sitcom is slated to premiere in the fall on Thursday night after Cosby. Mira que dos. Don't y'all remember Thursday nights? Oh, I'm sorry. I just had a little reminisce moment. Good old Thursdays, a little Cosby. And then he come on at 7. Did it stay on for half an hour or an hour? I can't even remember. Was it half an hour shows back then? And then A Different World? I think it was half an hour. Just 30 minutes. And the occasional appearances on next season's Cosby Show, Bonet plans to shuttle from coast to coast. If there's any time left over for breathing, she'll consider other film roles. We'll see. We'll see what it's like, she says, clearing her throat again. I'm better when I work because I get bored easily, unless I'm traveling. If I'm like stuck with nothing to do, then I go crazy. Bonet avoids meat, goes to yoga classes, meditates, and travels. A year ago, she asked Rashad to take her to, I told you all about, she had went to India and finds that reflection helps keep everything into perspective. That's what Tina Turner with her numb your ho. You got to do what you got to do. If you got to numb your ho, you got to numb your. It's like there is so much more in life than, show business. And you can tell that from Lisa Bonet too. She didn't get wrapped up into the mundane life of celebrityisms. It's like there is so much more in life, than show business, she says, wrinkling her nose. It's only going to last for so long. But, the work that I'm doing, like with my guru and meditation, is forever. I have to wake up with myself tomorrow morning. Come on, girl, you do. And she was saying this at 20. You better stop. I have to wake up in 10 years, and I'm much more interested in working on my soul than my bank account. What? And she said this at 20? 20-year-olds don't say that. 20-year-olds don't say that. Of course, a healthy bank account makes it a lot easier to find the time for soul searching. Amen on that one. If you got the money. Anyway, so her mama. So let's just get into her mama first. Her mama, Miss Arlene Bonet. She was born on February 11th, 1949. They say that she was a school teacher and she was Jewish, Ashkenazi. Am I saying that correctly? And they said something about some Polish German stuff, right? Now, based on my research, she married Lisa Bonet's father, They got married in 1963. Now, remember, Lisa Bonet was born in 1967, so they got married in 1963. And based on my research, now she said 13 months. 13 months, her parents were already separated. I see that they got a divorce in 1969. Now, based on what I had said, it said Arlene had married Alan Bonet. That's his name. When you do research, it say his name is Alan Bonet. She married, a black man, and they were in love and all of that type of stuff. But her family, they wasn't feeling that, her sitting up there being with that black man. And that's where it says, a lot of the research says that that's where their marriage kind of fell apart, as because of all the racial stuff or whatever that was going on. So I'm sitting up here researching the mama, right? And I then found this, or Arlene Joyce Littman, born February 11th, 1940. They said in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's what I have too. They said she died March 3rd, 1988. And then at the bottom, it says her father was Eli Littman, and her mother, you probably can't really see that. It says was Sylvia Ellen Goldvarg or something like that. So I was like, well, then let me look up her mama. Okay. I found her mama's obituary. So this is Lisa Bonet's grandmother. This is Lisa Bonet's mother, Arlene mother, the family that they said that did not like the fact that she was married to Lisa's dad, the black man. So I'm just sitting up here reading the obituary, right? I'm like, okay, Sylvia Littman. Okay, so that must be Arlene's maiden name, Littman, before she became a Bonet. And it said, she passed away April 26, 2016. Then it gets to that Sylvia Littman is preceded in passing by her beloved husband, her husband, Eli, her cherished daughter, Arlene Bonet. Then it mentions her other children. Then it says her grandchildren, Jason Estrella, la la la. Then it gets down to the bottom. I don't know if you can see this name, Liloki, Lilakoi, in parentheses to say Jason Momoa, if I'm saying that correctly. Whatever. Forgive me if I'm saying it wrong. But that's Lisa Bonet's changed name. She changed her name, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was either 1991, 2, 3, something like that. She went and changed her name to Liloki Moon. So in her grandmother's obituary, who passed away in 2016, that's what they have in there. Liloki, whatever, Jason Momoa Moon, and her grandchildren. And then if you see in the grandchildren, it lists Lola and Wolfie, who are her children by Jason, and then Zoe Kravitz, who is her daughter by Lenny Kravitz. Part that caught my attention, that made me be like, wait a minute, was the Arlene Bonet, her daughter, at the top part. Sylvia is preceded in passing by her beloved husband, Eli Littman, and her cherished daughter, Arlene Bonet. Boney? I was like, why is there a Y? Did they make a mistake? Like, why did they put a Y on there? So Alan Bonet, Boney. And this is Lisa Bonet's father. He was born in 1935, and it says to 2008, but he did not pass away in 2008. He passed away in 2018, and I'll show you that later. But it said Alan Bonet, or Boney, and I'm like, okay, so what is this? And then in that, it says that his father is Samuel Murray Bonet, Boney, and his mother is Mary Myra Orphy, parentheses. I'm assuming that is a maiden name, Bonet. So I said, get out of here. So did the father change into what? So what is going on with the last name? So it's the last name Bonet. I mean, like, are people making mistakes? Because they have that he died in 2008, when he definitely passed away in 2018. Like I said, I'll show y'all that later. So I had to keep searching, because I'm like, what is going on with this last name? I'm very confused. And then that's when I came across this, who said Alan Bonet, and Boney in parentheses. And then it got on here that he's from Dallas, Texas. Can y'all see the thing that I'm seeing? Yes. It says that he's from Dallas, Texas. His dad in Los Angeles, he was 72 years old, the son of Albert Boney. See, then it gives different names. Then the son of Albert Boney and Mary Myra Bonet. So I said, you know what? This is starting to get a little lot. This is starting to be a little lot. It's confusing. Is she supposed to be Lisa Bonet? This is the part of research that I love. What is going on? What is the last name? Matter of fact, let's put the daddy. I didn't even put the daddy up here. Do y'all even know what the daddy look like? Boom, there go the daddy. Here go Alan Bonet. Look at him. Present Alan Bonet, the musician. Look at the musician. Here he go with his children. Here you go. That ain't Lisa. That is not Lisa. Here go her daddy. This is Mr. Alan Bonet. Born, when did it say he was born? February 13th, the day before Valentine's Day, 1935. This is him, opera singer. This is him with the wife and the, because he got remarried, because he ended up getting remarried after him and Lisa Bonet's mama divorced in 1969. So here go a picture of that. But, so I had already found the picture. We're going to pop this back up there, but I'm trying to figure out what is his last name. So now I'm interested in his mama. The mama name was Mary Myra, parentheses, Orphy. So I thought that was a pretty standout name. The fact that it was Mary Myra, M-Y-R-A, and then parentheses, the Orphy thing. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go under the mom and then just research the mom. I think I'm going to be able to really get my information from the mom. So I started looking up Mary Myra, and I had found this little Texas birth certificate. And this Texas birth certificate is I screenshotted it, but it said 1935. So I'm going to try to bring it up a little bit, bring it up. So hopefully you can see this. So I'm looking at this and I notice a Samuel Orphy. Y'all see that? Do y'all see this Samuel Orphy, which is pretty standout, this O-R-P-H-Y. Remember when I told you, remember everything said that Lisa Bonet's father was born the day before Valentine's, 1935, February 13th, 1935. So we have a Samuel Orphy, right? That's the child's name. And then it says something about 101, born February 13th. We keep on going. He's a male to who? Mary Orphy. Then we keep on going. And then there's no father name. So I said, wait a minute. Samuel Orphy. Now where the hell we get a Samuel? Where's the Samuel? I'm looking for an Alan Orphy, and Alan Bonet. But now where do we get Samuel Orphy from? So
I would like to know how you all feel about this situation, and while you are letting me know, could you please like and share this video and subscribe to Genevas Closet if you haven't already done so right here on YouTube. And you can follow me on Facebook at Genevas Closet, and you can email me at GenevasClosett22@gmail.com. You all have a fabulous day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.